A lot of people have been asking me about who are the best champions for Relentless Gear. And I'm going to tell you all those champions right now. So if you watched that video yesterday on Relentless Gear, how broken and how it's only for the elite players in the game to get from the tournaments, then you saw my Seeker in there using Relentless Gear, along with the whole group was using Relentless Gear. But the Seeker really shined because he can take an additional turn with a move that's on a very low cooldown. It's on a 2-turn cooldown. He takes an additional turn. He can proc, and as we talked about in that video, and as you saw, whenever you take an additional turn from an ability, you can still proc Relentless Gear at the same time, and then they will take 2 turns right away. He'll take 1 turn from the extra turn that he took, and then he will take another turn right away, and you'll see it immediately. It's just like in that video we saw, where it'll say extra turn at the same time, which means they're going to take 2 turns, and then they can also do additional Relentless procs. Now what it does is anybody in the game who can take an extra turn, Robar, Krutrexxa, Turvold, we have Lord Shazar, Seeker, anybody like that, we're going to go over the full list of everybody, and I think there's some rares that we can do some really cool stuff with. I'm hoping we're going to try out, but right now we're going to jump into Arena to have a little bit of fun with. Let's go over to my Lord Shazar and see what I did with him. So Seeker lately in Arena, I've been having tons of fun with him. You can see here he's got Relentless Gear on. He has speed still of 246, which is not too bad for Relentless Gear for what I have. I'm kind of limited to what I've got. So he still has decent HP, decent defense, 237 accuracy, which is pretty low because I want to go over here and get this accuracy mastery. I just need to do some more Minotaur that I've been slacking on. So not bad for him. And then I also switched out my gear on Lord Shazar so we could see it proc more often, right? So we could have a champion like I'm talking about, just like Seeker, where they do an ability where they take an extra turn. So we can see him take many extra turns, and then we can get him back around to doing his bombs again, his AoE bombs on a 5-turn cooldown, get that lowered, and get that back around much, much quicker. But to do that, I had to sacrifice a lot of things on him. He's not at 100% anymore for crit, which lowers the bomb count from 2 turns to 1 turn, so it blows up immediately. So it's at 94, not too bad. I dropped his speed down by 20. I think I was at 205, right around there. And I might have dropped his attack down. I don't know yet. We're about to find out. Before his attacks, his bombs were doing 21,000 each, 21,500 each or so. So let's go into Arena, have some fun, and see what's going on. After this, we're going to jump over to, if we can find any good opponents, we're going to jump over to Ayumi Love website, where it's so easy. And I still love this website. I use it all the time. I really do. It's so easy to find who's the fastest. Who's the fastest? Let's get him. It's so easy. Extra turn. There we go. We already saw it. Queued it up. There we go. Extra turn again. Here we go. Let's get her this time. Get her this time. And extra turn again. There we go. On camera. I'm so glad. How many turns are you going to take, Seeker? How many turns? There we go. Okay, provoke everybody. Insane. Insane. Did we get an extra turn with Shazar? No. Okay, that's fine. We are doing okay. All those extra turns with Seeker. So you already saw him buff twice, right? He did a turn meter increase twice. And it's so, as you can see, it's so powerful. Imagine Seeker being a high DPS champion. Imagine this being a Krutrexxa, a Turvold, just anybody out there who buffs themselves or does whatever. A Robar. I've seen a Robar go insane. I'm talking like 8 turns in a row because he gets an additional turn if he puts a stun on a skill 1. And then he gets an additional turn whenever he procs Relentless. And the thing is, they're resetting the Relentless, right? So we have an 18% chance to do Relentless. We take our turn, 18% chance to do Relentless, a 9.9% chance after that. It's a diminishing chance to proc. So it goes from, it's a 45% less percentage to proc it. So it goes from 18% to 9.9 to 5 point something. I can't remember. I showed it in the video yesterday. Go over to that and we can look it up. You can see it all there, all the details there. I want to see Lord Shazar do some stuff. I wasn't even paying attention and I was talking to you guys. So I want to see him take as many turns as Seeker just took. But Seeker has it really well. Like he's on a 3-turn cool there, extra turn right there. We just see it. Come on. And then extra turn. Did he get another one after that? He did. Extra turn buff. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. So, man, I'm so glad. You know, usually on something like this, you have to 2 extra turns right here. You just saw it. He proc 2. Usually on something like this, you have to record and try to catch it. Not even a lot, just a little bit. You just got to do a little recording because you might get bad RNG and not do that many. But really, with the way that they buff themselves and take an extra turn, it's easy, right? It's not that hard to hit the 18%. And the thing is with Relentless, when I have it on other people, I don't notice it as much. Sometimes you just don't hit that 18%. And if you do hit that 18%, you don't always hit that 9.9 after or the 5.5 after that. So it's really hard to get 3 turns in a row with an average champion that doesn't have a way to get extra turns. But if it's a champion that can take any kind of extra turns whatsoever, that is the best champion to put Relentless gear on. Of course, it's good on somebody like Apothecary. I think it's fantastic on somebody like Apothecary because he doesn't need any special gear. Apothecary just needs to be fast and a little bit tanky, right? And he can do the speed buffs and the turn meter increase. And he has a chance to take an additional turn, which is fantastic for him because then he can speed your team up again, just like Seeker's doing, right? But Seeker has an advantage because he takes an extra turn. Now it's on a 2-turn cooldown for his buff that he just did. And then he can do it again. And he's fast already, increases everybody's turn meter. It's so beautiful. I love it. And he gives him more chances to proc as well, so you could switch targets and proc. We need to fight somebody a little bit stronger. Okay, these guys look decent. I like seeing Brachus there. He just looks so cool. Earlier I saw a whole Halloween team that had Madame Cirrus, that had Miscreated Monster, Brachus, and Jack. Harvest Jack here. So let's go. Who are we going to taunt? Okay, let's go. We're going to get another turn. Okay, let's go. Shazar. Shazar can do it. He did it earlier. It was so great. There we go. There we go. Buff, extra turn. Did he get an extra turn on that buff? I wasn't paying attention. No. So completely crazy. Now, if Brachus had it, when he did this right here, he could take an extra turn as well. He would have the ability, since he took that turn, to take an additional turn, which would be pretty cool when he comes back to life to take 2 or 3 turns, who knows. But he doesn't really have a cooldown ability besides dying, right? Dying to do it. It's on a cooldown, yes. Once it's up again, he could die again and come back to life, but it's nowhere near as convenient as a Seeker, as a Shazar, as a Robar that can do it on a skill 1, and as other people in the game, Turvold, Krutrexa. Who else is out there? There's a lot of people out there. Like I said, I really want to focus on the rares. I know there's a lot of legendaries that I don't have, so I can't do anything about that. Other people can chime in, and if they want to show off their champions that are doing really well, the ones we're talking about here, then yeah, get with me. Let me know. I'll jump on your account. We'll show it off, and we'll have a lot of fun with it. But right now, this is just, there we go. Extra turn, extra turn. I saw 2 proc there, so we're going to get 1 more. Oh, I thought I saw 2. I thought I said extra turn, extra turn. Okay, I'm seeing too many extra turns. Now I'm just making stuff up. Let's go. Let's go over to the list. This is it for the battle. We already saw the amazing. It already happened in the beginning, so there we go. Extra turn. It's just so crazy on champions like this. Of course, I wish Arbiter had a way to do an extra turn like that. Well, she does. She has an extra turn when she heals somebody. She can take an extra turn. But again, it's kind of like Brachus, right? It's not always loaded up. It's only if she resurrects somebody on her skill 3 and then, or skill 4, is it? Skill 3, and then she can do her other stuff. So, wow, that would be crazy for her to get extra turns as well. So let's go over to Ayumi. So this is the Ayumi Love website. I still use it. I still love it. It's so easy because when I want to see something like this, I'm telling you, when I want to see somebody who can do stuns, when I want to see somebody who can do weakens, and then even extra turn here. Let's go down to, where did I find extra turn? So buff, buff, buff. Okay, now I'm not gonna, there it is. Extra turn, instant extra turn. Okay, now these are all the people that can do extra turn. Now I didn't see Temptress in here. She does have the ability to do an extra turn. So I'll have to get with Ayumi Love. Maybe it's not updated, or maybe it's just Temptress can do an extra turn when she does a buff ability for herself when Seducer is on the team, but it's on a 4-turn cooldown, so way too long for me to worry about doing this with. But look at all these different people. We're going to see here, Aina, yes, on her skill 1, she does have the ability. We just saw her in my last video, which showcased these Relentless artifacts. I don't know if I've been saying runes. I'm pretty excited because that Lord Shazar and the Seeker in the beginning of those battles really went off. It was really fun to watch and just showed how crazy it really is. Cage Breaker does something. Dark Aethel, she doesn't have an extra turn. Oh yeah, if you attack like kill 10 different enemies, she can take an extra turn. Drake, Gala does. Longbeard, Gala Longbeard does, and she would actually be pretty cool with it because she takes an extra turn when she grants an extra turn if this champion is at full HP when she does this attack. And is it on a 3-turn cooldown maxed out? Attacks 3 times, and it hits really hard. So she could be pretty fun with it. Get some extra turns with her. Who else do we have on here? Horden could be cool. When he kills somebody, he gets an extra turn, right? And then we have Marksman, Occult Brawler does with enough debuffs on him. Relic Keeper when he kills somebody. Seeker, as we've already seen. Seer would be really cool with it. I'll have to load up my Seer and see if I can get good enough artifacts to use it on my Seer or not. Berserker, all these other ones down here, I'm going to have to look at them. I think a lot of them, like Harris and Berserker, only take an additional turn when they kill somebody, so that's limiting. Might be kind of fun in PvP if you can make them strong enough. Steadfast Marshal, I can't remember when he takes an additional turn. It's really better if it's something like a low cooldown buff, right? Or if you're a Robar and amazing, then something that like he has. So he takes an extra turn when he freezes everybody. So that skill is up how often? It is a 6-turn cooldown, 5-turn cooldown, and take an extra turn. So that's kind of a long cooldown. Again, I prefer somebody with a lower one. Kutrexa is on a 4-turn cooldown, grants an extra turn. Okay, that's still kind of long, but she can still pop off, right? People can still, especially when they're in an attack class like that, it can get really crazy. So there are other ones. Septimus. Oh yeah, he can, when he kills somebody, he can take an extra turn and then take extra turns. Turvold, we've already talked about. Venus, which one does she have? Only when she's partnered with Cupidus. Remove all buffs, takes an extra turn. So we're actually kind of limited. I thought there was going to be a lot more champions out there, cooler ones, because Astrolith, yes, it could be cool to have her on. Brachus, we already talked about because it's when he comes back to life. Kutrexa is on a 4-turn cooldown. His is on like a 5 or 6, only when you do the AoE freeze, then you get an extra turn. Ithos is on skill 1, so he's a phenomenal champion for it. And those are the ones we really already know about, right? We already know Ithos, we already know Lord Shazar, we already know Robar, we already know Turvold, and we already know Kutrexa, so we've really already hit, and I'm sure Astrolith might improve her with it on there. It just might, right? Because on here, what does she do? Where is her extra turn coming from? On a 5-turn cooldown? That's a little bit long. So that's a little bit long too. So really, honestly, and Seeker is probably one of the best ones out there as well. I put Seeker in a run for Fire Knight, even though he's magic, it didn't really matter. It was pretty cool how often he was increasing the turn meter and just getting extra turns to take down the Fire Knight shield and to increase my turn meter of my team. It was pretty insane. So I also threw him into Ice Golems and a couple other places. It was tons of fun. So anyways, if you have any questions, or if you have one of these champions that you really have decked out and really good Relentless artifacts and you want me to do a champion guide on them, please let me know. Get into contact with me on Discord. We will do that. I'm having a lot of fun with Relentless with my Lord Shazar and with my Seeker now. And then anybody else. I'm definitely going to go through these rares and even these uncommons. Maybe there's an uncommon on here. Outlaw Monk can do it on a skill 1. Actually, a lot of people were putting comments on Reddit on the post I put there about it for their Outlaw Monk, taking extra turns with their Outlaw Monk. Pretty interesting. I'm not a big fan of Outlaw Monk. He's an uncommon and he can, take an extra turn to do poisons. But still would be fun. Frontline Warrior is a new one. She's actually cool. I think she gets an extra turn when she kills somebody. And Cutthroat, I can't remember. So again, I'll just have to go through all these and see if I have any leveled up. Test them out. We can even test them out at 5-star, and then if we don't like it, we can eat them later, so it shouldn't be a problem. But as always, everyone, try out Ayumi Love. It is the best website, I think, for doing things like this. Just for to easily come over here and say, okay, I want to know about who can block debuffs, and then boom, you click on it, and you'll see Seducer here, Maneater, everybody else that you know about. I love you all. Thank you all, and I will see you all in a video soon.